Many people seem to be concerned about some sort of competency tests that girls give them. Now the thing is, you shouldn't be overly worried about that. Women seem to test men almost all the time in relationships. They do this to be assured that you're the best they can get. And these tests will only ever stop when they are convinced that you're really the best they can get. And they'll still test you just to reassure themselves. Now, before diving further in, you need to know that the relationship between these tests and you as a person is inversely proportional. This means that working on yourself as a person, financially, physically, and mentally will result in a decline in the amount of tests you get. Also, these tests seem to start right after the relationship starts, so they know they are with the right person and checks all the boxes. After the initial phase of the relationship, the number of tests should decrease depending on the situation. Now, without further ado, let's talk about the 5 ways to respond to her competency skills test. For the first one, if you're really abiding by some moral codes and are after a goal, you should simply be able to ignore them. See, once the relationship has started and she's seen what you're capable of, the tests should really become less frequent. It would make no sense to test you so much once she's become affirmative of you. So, if she still happens to test you a lot, there must be something wrong with you. The point I'm trying to make with this is that if you're always working up to your potential, no women will even bother testing you much once they are affirmative of you. Now, the second tactic is to own it and move on. What this means is that you should not be entertaining her obvious test questions. If you're an alpha, you should really be able to just put it down and move on. Say, you were told that you're always trying to look good for other women, so they find you attractive. Now to this, you either respond with a defense or make a scene of it like a beta. Or you can simply own it by telling her that you like to take care of yourself and move on with the conversation like an alpha. See, the goal here is to not entertain these kinds of obvious tests and own your stuff like a wise man. Honestly, you're bound to seem desperate trying to defend yourself. The third one is to respond to her shaming you with shame. Now, I know it sounds unethical, but bear with me on this. The thing with women is that they are always on the look for men who are more capable than them. It's simply in their nature, and that's how they're built. No matter how extremely they'll be against masculinity, they'll still want their men to be stronger than them in the end. And so, if you happen to find yourself in a situation where she's shaming you about some task you can't perform that you should, simply just shame her back with something random like, well, if men are supposed to be like this, then women are supposed to be like this, or is it against feminism now? And again, it's just to dial down the situation and not escalate the fire like a beta. Now the fourth one is to set boundaries. Now keep in mind that this tactic can work both for you and against you. If you're a high-value man, it will work in your favor. But if you're not a high-value man, it will destroy your game. Now this tactic can be used when she's testing you a lot and can't seem to slow down. It might even include name-calling you for certain life choices of yours. Now when she starts questioning you for the person you are and requires you to change yourself, that's when it comes handy. See, if you're a high-value man, you can straight up let her know that you can't deal with her nonsense. Now if you were to be a beta guy, you'll have no other options and will keep you from leaving her toxicity. And so being an alpha, you won't have any lack of options, so you can remind her of her limits if it gets too much. Disrespect should never be tolerated, and you should move on from such a toxic relationship and improvise on your value as a man. Number 5, and this is the last one, turn the joke around on her. If she happens to criticize you about something, simply turn it around on her with a counter joke or just walk away. Being a high-value man, you're not bound to take insults and can get back on her about it. Now what I see about most of the guys is that they worry too much about this stuff. They literally read books on how to pass these tests and whatnot. You should not worry about this stuff much. Instead, you should work on yourself as a man. Be it working on your physical, financially, or mentally. The end goal should ever be the women. It should be you. You should be working to your potential, and these things will inevitably come your way. Focus on yourself as a person, go to the gym and work out, make money, and become financially stable, have the right mindset. After all this, these things will come naturally to you, and you won't have to worry about them much. So have goals, stay ambitious, and stay on the right path. You'll make it. That's it for today's video. Hopefully, your queries are answered and all doubts are cleared. Give the video a big thumbs up, share with your friends with similar concerns, and subscribe to the channel. You can also check out the channel to find more helpful videos like this and can greatly benefit from them. See you in the next video.